I'm Christopher Muganga. I work at the National Curriculum Development Center, but I'm a teacher by profession. I taught for 21 years, and then I branched off to go and start writing curricula for schools after discovering that I cannot do much more in the classroom, but I can do something better to program what is being learned in schools. So I'm now at the National Curriculum Development Center. With that, I bring you greetings from NCDC and the entire curriculum change agents. Because now wherever we go, we create the change agents to make sure that 5 years down the road, we shall have pioneers and the champions of the new curriculum, people who cherish change. I talk about reforms in Uganda because this new curriculum, which is giving a headache to so many schools, is what I started with when I left school as a teacher. In 2008, I was enrolled as a specialist to start working on how should we change the way learners learn, because government had already thought of changing the curriculum. But the people to change it were not there. Curriculum had very few workers there. Most of them, they were in the evening of their days, people above 70. So they want to look for somebody or some other people. We came in around 10 people, very energetic youth, men and women from schools, to bring the experience of teaching into the rewriting of the curriculum programs. So Uganda, like any other developing countries, we have a lot of challenges towards education. Because if you are an adult reader of our own country, we have issues of access. That for you here, you are in the thousands, as I heard from the head teacher. But in other areas in Uganda, schools are not there. And where schools are, learners are not there. By this time, you have around 10 people who are arriving, and by around 2 people have disappeared. They have gone back because of other challenges. So we have a challenge of access. Now, government is working very hard to make sure that at least every learner, every child can access school. Even now, some schools where they are very far away from the people. I was on the TV and I was looking at someone in Busia, somewhere there, walking 20 kilometers, and she's a lady, a girl in the senior 4. 20 kilometers going, 20 kilometers coming back. So access is a problem. But after access now, there was a problem of quality education. You have access to school, now you are there. What are you doing there? That is now the work we are fighting to bring on board. Are learners learning? Because it has been a very big question. Are our learners learning? We have universal primary, universal secondary, yes, but are people gaining from them? Because up to now, if you are moving around the road, you will see learners of your age, not in school. So we still have so many problems. However, our hope is that government is trying all its best to narrow the gaps, because we cannot finish all of these challenges at a go. But we are trying now to narrow the gaps of access, of quality education, of methodology in teaching, so that by the end of it all, we move with the rest of the world, where they say, leave no learner behind. Because of so many things we are having in the developed countries and challenges, we find that we cannot sometimes get what is called quality education for all. So, you are going to look at 2007, that is the year when the government of Uganda and the National Curriculum Development Center took a decision to review the lower secondary curriculum, which somehow is coinciding with the program of STEM, because what we packaged as the new curriculum, as the GIST, of the new curriculum is what exactly STEM is also introducing to you. So you find a very easy way of dovetailing STEM into the new curriculum and of using learners to propel their own learning. Because the biggest challenge we have with all schools, including what we call the big schools in Uganda, is that teachers have refused to detach themselves from the power of controlling the learning. We are telling them, you are not the monopoly of knowledge. Let learners learn by themselves. Your work is to guide them. They think they are losing a lot by not being the sole owner of knowledge. Yet, learners as they are not empty-headed. It's just to introduce to them challenges, and you will see them learning more from themselves, from the books, from the internet, when you give them resources to learn. So by that year, when we introduced the new lower secondary curriculum, we had challenges in 2020. As we are rolling it out, that's when the country had the coronavirus, and we had to close all schools. But what was the new curriculum talking about? It is bringing about outcome-based learning. Let learners learn by showing something coming out of it. Competency-based skills acquisition. That is the gist of STEM. Let learners do something out of their own learning. Because the old curriculum is let learners acquire as much knowledge as possible and put it inside here without knowing when that knowledge will be used. Up to now, I have too much knowledge I've never put into use, which I learned. I learned about China, I've never gone there. I know South Africa, I know what is in Europe, I know what is in America, Amazon, I know what is there. But all of that knowledge was for what? If we cannot make use of that knowledge, why are we learning it? Prior to curriculum review, we had a needs assessment, which is like a research, to find out what is the problem, where can we touch, where can we improve. And the following were the shortcomings that were reported out of that needs assessment. Number one, that the teaching methodologies in the syllabuses did not promote effective learning and acquisition of skills. So teachers were teaching, but the methods used in the classroom were not promoting effective learning. That if you could ask the learner, what have you learned today? They will say, the teacher said. For them, they haven't learned, but the teacher has said. The way we go to church, and the reverend takes a whole hour maybe preaching, telling us about how to be good people, how to turn to God. As soon as that event is done, we go back to our normal and we repent again. Because it is a ceremony to go to church. It is a ceremony to go to class. I have to be in class. But what is being done there? We come out when we have not picked anything, or if we have picked it, it is for memorization, and that one is the problem of unemployment in Uganda. Number two, the problem was that the existing curriculum, for historical reasons, is greatly overloaded. Learners are learning a lot of things from morning to evening, Saturdays, come back in holidays, come back. So people are all the time are reading and reading. At the end of it, they do nothing. Now what is all that effort for? When it is a holiday, you see them going back, coaching. Saturday is the same. Morning prep, evening prep. What are they studying? And we are wondering. Shortcoming number three, the curriculum did not address the needs of the majority of students. It was for only those who could move with that elite class. It was not cutting across for all learners to understand. So teachers were going for only those few people who have understood, and when they say, have you understood? Those say, yes, okay, you ask the rest. Yet in the normal teaching and learning, no, don't leave learners behind. Let each and every person do what he or she can do on that context. We had another reason of number 4 that was cited, that curriculum did not adequately address the social and economic needs of the country. And I think this is where now STEM comes on also, whereby you are solving a problem when you use your knowledge and the skills you have acquired to do something. So, is what you have learned addressing the social and economic needs of the country? Are you able to do something at that? Or you are waiting until you graduate or you fail to graduate to say that now I can go and do something and rear chicken? Is rearing chicken too much science that can wait for you until you are 25? Can't you get to know the science of rearing chicken? So that at the end of it, learning that chunk of knowledge, you can put it under use. Number 5, the curriculum was not sufficiently flexible to address the emerging fields of knowledge. Knowledge comes in, and as knowledge also becomes obsolete. For us, we are still learning about things which are not even making sense, especially in the science area. There are so many things now which are discarded. I've been driving since 1991, but my first car had a carburetor, had a what. But now if you take the same car to the garage, they will say, mechanics are not around because the machine is not around. Nobody knows how now to repair carburetors because we moved it to another method of powering the car, not using carburetors. So when the new knowledge comes on board, for us we had no space to put it on curriculum. People are recycling the old things. You remember our old TVs, those with the bigger backs at the back. Switch it on, take 30 minutes, it is still warming up. Nowadays, those things are not there. Science has been improving the social life, but for us, we are still learning about the old content, which could not add much on our life. Then, the last one, I have even bolded it, was very pertinent. That the key characteristics required of the 21st century curriculum were missing. You are very lucky you are in a different world. For me, I am there by accident because I am in 19s. I was born in 1963. I used to write a letter to go home. It takes a whole month. They reply. By the time I get the response, it is term 2. Then I get the letter, which they replied when I had already gone for holidays. These days, there is no need to write that letter through post office and you put a stamp and you wait a whole month to get a reply. The letter just goes in the air and the 5 minutes they reply. That is what we call now the internet. 21st century has its own requirements. It's a different world from ours. Those skills are the ones you have to learn in now. To live in Iwampewo, there are certain things you must have than living in Chanamukaka. But if you start to live as if you are in Chanamukaka, people will laugh at you. Because you are in a different place which requires different knowledge and skills to survive. This is a town. You must know how people live in a town. And sad to say, our curriculum was not teaching you the 21st century skills. They are in our curriculum now. What are those 21st century curriculum skills? You are going to know about them. Now, my point number 3 is about the STEM. STEM approach is aligning curriculum with the needs of the society, and we thank them for that. My first bullet is that STEM approach is trying to mirror the spirit of the new curriculum. So there is that reflection, and you see what they are doing is almost the same as what we propose in the new curriculum, which is learner-centered and competency-based. And why are we doing it? To solve societal problems. The moment you are learning something and it is not going to be seen anywhere in society, please don't learn that one. You just discard it. Whatever you are learning must be solving societal problems. We are going to school to learn so that we solve the problem, so that the community pays us. Whatever is not bringing bread on the table, don't learn it. How will you survive? We don't go to school for fun. That's why we say that even in the arts, and I'm happy, and the professor will say, we are now adding in the word A's. Now from STEM to STEAM. Maybe we start STEAMing when the arts have come in. Why are we learning English language if we can't get money out of it? Are you going to use it to edit publications? Are you going to write poems and books? Whatever you learn, you must get money out of it, because it is an investment the parent has invested. Take this example. If there are two parents, one refuses to pay school fees for his or her child, and instead gives that money to that learner to go and start a business. But the second parent says, let me take my child to school. And the same money is put at school for you to study. After 20 years or 10 years, we should see who is better than the other. If the one who went in business is doing much better than you who went to school, it means schools did not do any work. So for you have made a loss. The other one will say, from here I told you, you are going there, you're wasting your money. Now for me, I have my cows, I have my buildings, because you are using the same money but on a different purpose. Yet education is there to prepare you to solve any other problem that is going to come, and you get your money back. People should pay you to edit the papers. People should pay you to make pesticides. People should pay you to diagnose the animals. People should pay you to know the cause of the sickness in society. Not to say we have been bewitched when you know people are suffering from malaria. Many schools are fidgeting with the projects as prescribed by the curriculum. Not because it is non-achievable, but due to negative attitude and lack of commitment. People don't want to leave their comfort zone of coming 40 minutes, sit in the class, write a few things on the blackboard, give an assignment, go away. What have they learned now? So when you tell them, no, this time you have to be with the learners from beginning up to the end, and you follow them even after, outside the classroom, you follow these learners and you get to know what are they doing. That is now very difficult for them. That's why they say new curriculum is very difficult. It is because they lack a commitment. Such schools have continued to succumb to simplistic and narrow learning. So there is a narrow learning and deep learning. Deep learning, a learner should be changed. A learner should be the one now doing it after so many years. Shallow, you forget after learning it, because someone has told about you, Europe has told you about China. In the end, you can't make any meaning out of it. The project of STEM in Uganda school has shown positive results, an indicator of success of the new curriculum, despite peripheral implementation impediments here and there. We know when you are changing, there are so many things which come in which were not planned before, like now late delivery of learners' books. It was not planned like that. It was government did not get money very fast to get, but now I hear books have started reaching schools. Chemicals, apparatus, They are not easy to get in the school unless the board of governors and the head teachers are very keen on where they should put money first. Not to say we have bought a new bus, we have a new swimming pool. So we have those luxury things in the schools, in very many schools, which don't add nothing. They add nothing to learning. And I'm happy, my former school where I was, the parents had refused to buy a bus. They said, we didn't bring these people here to travel. If you want to travel, it is easier to hire. And we go, we come back, and the owner of the bus goes away. But putting the bus here, until we have a trip, when we are putting our money on it, because even if you're not using it, you must look after it. You must pay the drive. You must buy the tires, because you're waiting for that day to go on a trip. Too luxury for nothing. STEM approach is similar to constructivism, an approach and a project-based learning in the new curriculum, which intends to develop among learners abilities to critically think, make informed judgments, rationalize the knowledge, and acquire the genetic skills and values as cherished by the society. Because after here, when you move out of the gate, people won't ask you whether you have studied STEM, whether you have a D1 in mathematics. No. There are few things which are going to put you on the edge. These are critical thinking and problem solving, which is a genetic skill in the new curriculum, which is required in the STEM project. Critical thinking and problem solving. What is the problem? Then you critically think, how can we do something about it? 2, creativity and innovation. What can we use? Now, we don't have this one. Can't we have another alternative? 3, communication. You'll be working in the teams, you'll be communicating, you'll be doing all that, and the collaboration is required. 4, cooperation and self-directed learning. So you should be self-propelled. Not say, teacher, come and tell us, how can we do this one? 5, mathematical computation. Love it, dislike it, mathematics has to come in. How would you calculate? How would you do this? How would you find the formulas? How would you use the mathematics within? And it is a part of the STEM. And lastly, which is in your world, which is now a new way of living, ICT proficiency. How would you now communicate with Shijabwemi? How would you communicate with people of the North? ICT must come in. How would you get knowledge from now USA without going there? You must have ICT. How do you download things? It is a way of living of your world. For us, we are just borrowing because we are in the evening of our days. So the world is very volatile. That's why we have the word VUCA. Uncertain. The world changes very fast. You must move with it. If you start saying, for us, we learn it this way, you cannot do too much with the new ways of living. So STEM approach to learning is realizing the curriculum learning expectations of what successful learners should know and what the competences that learners should have. So we are saying each class, year by year, a learner should be getting some skills, some competences, some knowledge and understanding to help that learner to move on or to survive in that real time. Because you should go back home at every year when you are a different person, when you can do something more than the previous year. And you say, Daddy, I can now do that. Stop buying bread. We can make our own bread at home. Because now I know how to make a bread. But if with all the knowledge you have learned at school, you go back home and you become a parasite to the man, to the woman who is half educated, then you are doing a disservice to this country. In my conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity to congratulate Wampewo Ntake Secondary School for working very hard to be recognized. As I said, people to recognize you, you must have put in something. So you were organized as a STEM school in Uganda. I add my special thanks to go to the chair, Board of Governors, for giving strategic support, because the work of the board is to think 10, 20 years ahead. Strategic management. What Wampewa will look like in 10 years. Why are we taking this direction? Why we should sacrifice and we eat beans and a portion and we save this money and we put a building. Strategic management. So they are supporting the school managers, which are the head teacher and the teachers around, and the teachers to help them so that learners are learning better. Because if the priority is in just having these simplistic things at a school, and you don't strategically think to get programs like the one of STEM, then it will be a very big loss. So I would like to thank the head teacher, because normally people move out for workshops, for what, but they fail to get something which is going to help their countries where they are coming from. So the head teacher, realizing that I can learn something and then I can negotiate to have such a program which is not going to end here, but is going to propel and roll stones up to other schools, because normally schools have to listen to who are doing better than us, and they come and they copy from you. Thank you, Mr. Headmaster, to bring such knowledge to Uganda. The 21st century requires several interventions in almost all human endeavors, but most especially the education sector, because everything starts with the school. Professor Shah, efforts will not be wasted only if we appreciate the wisdom she's giving us, and we design a sustainable plan, because that is a disease in our countries, low developed countries. After helping someone to reach somewhere, you say, now I think you can continue from here, I've gone back. You will find him where you left him. That I cannot move on. But I was just helping you. If you are helping someone from this side to go to Kampala, and you leave him at Komamboga, and you say, for me, I have reached my home. Then the following day you find the person there. You say, I cannot continue to Kampala. It becomes too bad. Let us have a plan. How do we propel from where now Professor has left us, so that it catches like flu. Other schools will be coming here now. This one now is going to become the USA to learn from you, and they go back. Make sure through the Board of Governors and the head teacher, you make a training center here. People should start now learning from you. This is the University of Project-Based Learning to other schools. I once again congratulate all of you for taking the right turn and the steps towards achieving the quality education for all Ugandans, especially to these learners of tomorrow. Our challenge in Uganda is to get quality education. Education can be in any form, but for us we are looking at quality education. As some people say, never give up. I think they are your neighbors. They never give up, because it is not yet over. The journey has just started. Gachali Mabaga. And it is a natural law for whoever grows up to start a new life, especially in our culture. When you become 18 plus, the father will go, you move out and build your house there. Because now you have grown up. Or you take off and you say, now he's in Kampala renting. Meaning, therefore, it is my proposal today to say it's time for Wampewa SS to fly high with STEM as they help others to come on board. I thank you for listening. You are my friend.